Welcome to YouTube lessons on interpretation of ECGs. I am Dr. Mrs. D.S. Kunwardana. I have been working attached to National Hospital, Kandy, Sri Lanka since year 2003. Since then, I have been conducting classes on interpretation of ECGs to medical officers, medical students and postgraduate trainees. Textbook ECGs in Clinical Practice was written and published by me in year 2019, which contain both of my teaching and clinical experiences. Material in this YouTube lecture series are from textbook ECGs in Clinical Practice. I hope that this lecture series will be useful for you to interpret ECGs. Lesson 11. Progression of bundle branch blocks. We have already discussed about interpretation of ECGs with broad QRS complexes and how to diagnose ECGs with bundle branch blocks. In lesson 11, we are going to discuss how to recognize ECGs with progression of bundle branch blocks. Bundle branch blocks can progress into bifascicular block, trifascicular block or complete heart block. If you can remember this diagram, which is in lesson 4, these are atria, ventricles, SA node and the AV node. This is the right bundle, this is the left bundle. We discussed about isolated complete right bundle branch block and left bundle branch block in lesson 4. In the presence of right bundle branch block, when the disease process progresses, it can affect one of the fascicle of the left bundle. As you know, the left bundle has anterior fascicle and the posterior fascicle. In the presence of right bundle branch block, if there is a total conduction failure of the anterior fascicle, the ECG will show complete right bundle branch block with left axis deviation. In the presence of right bundle branch block, if there is a total conduction failure of the posterior fascicle of the left bundle branch, then the ECG will show complete right bundle branch block with right axis deviation. If a given ECG shows right bundle branch block with axis deviation, either right axis or left axis deviation, that means that patient has complete conduction failure of the right bundle together with total conduction failure of one of the fascicle of the left bundle. So that means two nerve bundles are affected, right bundle and one of the fascicles of the left bundle. This is called bifascicular block. Bifascicular block. Two nerve bundles are affected simultaneously. Bifascicular block. If I summarize, if there is a complete right bundle branch block with total conduction failure of the anterior fascicle of the left bundle, which gives rise to left axis deviation, that is bifascicular block. If there is a right bundle branch block with total conduction failure of the posterior fascicle of the left bundle, it gives rise to right axis deviation. It is again called bifascicular block. Now, if you look at this slide, you can see limb leads, and what is the axis? In lead 2, there is negative polarity. In lead 1 and lead 3, there is leave-in pattern of QRS vectors. So, there is left axis deviation. QRS complexes are broad. Now, let's analyze chest leads. If you look at chest leads, ECG is in sinus rhythm, QRS complexes are broad. So, most likely diagnosis is one of the bundle branch blocks. If you analyze lead V1, you can see low amplitude R wave which precedes the high amplitude R wave. That means R is capital R dash morphology, compatible with right bundle branch block. To confirm the diagnosis of right bundle branch block, you have to analyze lead 1 and lead V6 further. In lead 1, you can see slurred S wave. In lead V6, you can see slurred S wave together with RS ratio in lead V6 is more than 1. So, this slide shows right bundle branch block, complete right bundle branch block with left axis deviation due to the total conduction failure of both right bundle and anterior fascicle of the left bundle. Therefore, diagnosis in this slide is, in these two slides is bifascicular block, right bundle branch block with left axis deviation. When the disease process progresses, the disease process can be either degeneration or it could be even ischemic condition, ischemia of the septum, bundle branches. There is complete right bundle branch block. One of the fascicle of the left bundle is also in total conduction failure. In addition to that, the remaining fascicle of the left bundle branch is in partial conduction failure. What happened to the speed of conduction? The sinus impulse will take more time to reach the ventricular myocardium to depolarize the ventricle. Therefore, what happens? The PR interval prolongs. Therefore, the ECG will show complete right bundle branch block, axis abnormality, either LAD or RAD, together with prolonged PR interval. This is called trifascicular block. Trifascicular block. So, in this patient, there is a total conduction failure of the right bundle, total conduction failure of the one of the fascicle, either anterior or posterior, and the partial conduction failure of remaining fascicle of the left bundle branch, giving rise to trifascicular block. If we analyze this 12-lead ECG, you can see broad complexes in sinus rhythm. If you analyze lead V1, you can see R wave, and if you analyze it closely, you can see there is a low amplitude R wave which precedes the high amplitude R wave. So, there is Simple R, S capital R dash morphology suggestive of right bundle branch block. Then if you analyze lead 1 and lead V6, you can see slurred S waves together with RS ratio in V6 is more than 1. So that means there is complete right bundle branch block. In addition to that, what is the cardiac axis? There is negative polarity in lead 2 together with leave-in pattern in lead 1 and lead 3. Therefore, there is left axis deviation. What is the PR interval? PR interval is 0.24. There is mild prolongation of PR interval. So that means electrophysiologically this patient has total conduction failure of the right bundle, total conduction failure of the anterior fascicle of the left bundle, and partial conduction failure of the posterior fascicle of the left bundle, giving rise to trifascicular block. Therefore, the diagnosis is trifascicular block. If there is total conduction failure of both right bundle branch and left bundle branch, what are the conditions this can happen? For an example, total occlusion of proximal left anterior descending artery or septal perforators, as we discussed in lesson 2, the anterior 2/3 of the septum and both bundle branches can be in total conduction failure. In that case, the ECG will show either complete heart block or ventricular stand still. What happens when there are both bundle branches are in total conduction failure? If both bundle branches are in total conduction failure, the emitted impulses from the SA node depolarizes both atria, giving rise to sinus P waves. And the electrical impulses then enter to the AV node, to the bundle of his, but the sinus impulses cannot conduct further into the ventricular myocardium, as there is total conduction failure of both right bundle and the left bundle. If the ventricular myocardium does not emit the escape rhythm, on the ECG what you can see, only sinus P waves without QRS complexes. That is called ventricular standstill. Now, in this ECG, there is total conduction failure of both bundle branches caused by extensive anterior myocardial infarction. What you can see on the ECG is only sinus P waves. There are no QRS complexes, so ventricles are in asystole. In some cases, the ventricular myocardium can give rise to escape rhythm, slow rhythm at a rate around 20 beats per minute with broad QRS complexes. In that case, the resulting rhythm disorder is diagnosed as complete heart block with broad QRS complexes. You have to remember one thing, in this case the AV node is normal. This complete heart block is not due to conduction failure of the AV node, it is caused by the total conduction failure of both right bundle branch and the left bundle branch. Coming to bifascicular blocking, we told that when there is complete right bundle branch block with axis deviation is there, that is called bifascicular block. The term bifascicular block can also be used when there is left bundle branch block with axis deviation as well. So in that case, patient has total conduction failure of the left bundle with one of the fascicles of the left bundle is in conduction failure. We have come to the end of the lecture. So far, we have discussed 11 lessons in this YouTube lecture series. If you haven't gone through previous lessons, I have left the link in the description. Thank you.